Hello students, welcome to our exam B. Students, today in this video, I'll be discussing a very important topic under the Companies Act 2013. So you are well aware that Companies Act is one of those subjects which frequently comes in most of the competitive exams, be it regulatory or banking. तो Companies Act से related एक important provision को आज हम discuss करेंगे. We'll be looking on to the different aspects related to it. But before we move ahead with our today's discussion, let me remind you over here that do remember to subscribe to our channel and press on the bell icon so that you can stay tuned and stay updated. And in case if you have any questions, queries, or you want to clarify any of your doubts, you can connect us through the email ID or the phone number which is displayed on the screen. Now moving ahead with our today's discussion, तो जैसा कि मैंने आपको already बताया, आज हम देखेंगे कंपनीज एक्ट के अंदर एक बहुत ही important provision. वो provision क्या है, आइए देखते हैं. So when you are studying the Companies Act, you generally come across a provision or a mechanism which is there in the Articles of Association, basically safeguarding some of the or certain provisions in the company's Articles of Association and making them more difficult, you can say, to amend or repeal. So what are these mechanisms which are there in the Articles of Association of a company? So I am sure you are aware कि Articles of Association एक बहुत ही important basic document है which is laying down the rules and regulations with respect to the company's internal management. तो ये एक ऐसा जो mechanism है जो यहाँ पे mentioned है and which you come across while studying Companies Act. What is that? So if you are thinking that provision as the entrenchment provision, let me tell you, you are right. Okay, so we are going to discuss what entrenchment is under the Companies Act. Before we move ahead with that, let me tell you that this particular entrenchment provision that was brought under the Companies Act by the 2013 Act. Before 2013 जो हमारा 1956 का Companies Act था, उसमें entrenchment provision से related कुछ भी नहीं था. Entrenchment provision एक नया provision था जो कि 2013 के Act के थ्रू लाया गया. Now, if we talk about what this entrenchment provision is, we can say that basically in the Articles of Association of a company, there could be included certain special provisions which will be termed as entrenchment. And this entrenchment provision will be making certain rules in the Articles of Association of a company more difficult to change, or it will require more stringent conditions or procedures than those which are needed for a special resolution. Okay. So ये हमारा entrenchment provision है as it has been provided under the Companies Act. There is no definition being provided, but through section 5 subsection 3 you can understand what entrenchment basically means. Now to understand that in a more simplified manner, consider that this is your personal diary. This is a diary which you maintain and you have written a lot of your important secrets and plans and many other things in this. This is a personal diary for you and you want to make it sure that nobody can change anything or could access this particular diary without your permission. So permission is being required from you to access this particular diary या फिर कुछ भी इसमें modify change करना हो तो. This we can consider is similar to what company basically does with its Article of Association. Articles of Association क्या है? Rule book है, we know that. So जो entrenchment provision होगा Articles of Association में, it will be putting a lock, you can say, on that particular specific rules in the Articles of Association which can not be easily amended or which will be requiring certain more stricter conditions or procedures which are required with respect to a special resolution. Now moving on to the concept of entrenchment. So basically again repeating on to that, the entrenchment basically क्या करता है? It makes certain rules or provisions in the company's Articles of Association जो कि rule book है more protected आप कह लो, so that they can not be easily changed. And basically वो help करता है maintain करने में stability and all, protecting the rights and interests within the company and all those things. Okay. Now taking the example from this particular diary and moving on to a pharma company, say this is a pharmaceutical company. Okay. And this pharmaceutical company, it is specializing आप कह लो life saving medicines and all में, it has a specialization and जो इसके founding members थे वो believe करते, they are committed to ethical practices and all, और वो ensure करना चाहते हैं कि कोई भी investment which will be made by the company that will be aligning with its core values, providing life-saving medicines. Now, इस particular provision को safeguard करने के लिए these founding members they decided that they will be including an entrenchment provision in the articles of association of this particular company. So, going ahead with that, the entrenchment provision which they included that provided that any investment which will be made by the company which is exceeding 10% of the company's net worth, that will be made only by the unanimous consent. Now, later on when this particular pharmaceutical company say it grows, expands and all, and it basically attracts interest from investors, and so there are certain investors who are potential investors, you can say, they are proposing that they want to invest in ventures, but that is actually not aligning with the company's value. That was what providing life-saving medicines and all, because these investors, they were proposing the production of high profit medicines, low impact and all. Okay, now these investors were pressurizing and all. However, क्योंकि ये जो entrenchment provision है that is there in the articles of association of this particular pharma company, which requires that unanimous consent is required to approve investment that will be exceeding the specified limit. So it is ensuring कि जो भी decision लिया जाएगा investment से related, that will be aligning with the company's ethical standards of providing life-saving medicines, which will have a good impact and all. ठीक है, इन सबको consider करते हुए तो इस objective को बेसिकली वो entrenchment clause उनके इस particular pharma company के articles of association में protect कर रहा है. तो entrenchment provision क्या कर रहा है, serve कर रहा है एक crucial safeguard की तरह. It is protecting the very integrity और जो भी values है उस particular pharmaceutical company का against any decision that will be compromising its very mission of providing that life-saving medicines. So this is what entrenchment provision does. It makes it little harder, stringent, difficult to amend those specific certain provisions of the articles of association. Now I hope you understood what entrenchment provision is. अब ये जो entrenchment provision है, it can be basically established in the articles of association of the company during the company's formation, जब वो form हो रहा है, या फिर by the amendment of the articles, and in case it is a private company, there has to be an agreement of all the members, and if it is a public company, it has to be done by way of a special resolution. So this is basically a way how you can go ahead and incorporate this particular provision in your articles of association. Now let me ask you a question over here. You must be coming across a lot of news with respect to Beju's. This is one of the clippings which is there with respect to Beju's, which is mentioning about the EGM which was held recently as invalid and all on certain grounds. You can read this particular clipping and you have to comment in the comment section of this particular video whether this particular clipping which I have provided you over here, this is an entrenchment provision in the Beju's articles of association or not. So this was our today's discussion. Stay tuned and stay updated.